What is up, everybody? We just hit 10,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. And first of all, I want to say thank you guys. This milestone is huge. It's enormous. It's a very big number. And I want to thank you guys, every single one of these 10,000 people who have subscribed to me. Thank you. It means a lot. In this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the milestone, and then I'm going to provide value to you guys by answering all of the questions that you guys have asked me on my courses and tutorials in the comment section. So I'm going to respond to them. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my feedback. There's a lot of questions there on how to do different things. I'm going to be answering them. To celebrate this milestone, I think it'll be best to provide value. My inspiration for this form of content, where I'm just going to go through comments and give you guys value, is from Nick Sarive. Right, so he has this daily updates channel where basically what he does is he replies to the comments that people leave in the comment section and just provides value directly. And this is going to be a different way of doing that. Obviously, these are long-term comments. These aren't recent comments, but I think these are valuable to anybody in the agentic coding space. These are going to be relevant to my courses, and my courses are on agentic engineering, vibe coding, and that kind of stuff. So first of all, 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. It really means a lot to me. You can see right over here, we've hit 10,000 subscribers. Our growth rate is pretty slow. So in the last 28 days, we only gained like 170 subscribers. That's because I haven't been uploading a lot. You can see right over here, like I haven't uploaded for the past 26 days, which is not great, and I need to fix this. So I need to reduce friction and start uploading more. This is one thing that I've got to do. But even then, 10,000 is a number that I think everybody dreams of hitting. It's very difficult to get past the first 100, 500, 1,000. But then once you hit these numbers, it starts increasing a lot. So I'm really happy about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the Studio tab right over here. And this is the Community tab in YouTube Studio, and I'm going to go through all of the comments ever since I uploaded my most popular video, which was a long time ago. It was like a year and a half ago. So that was the Replet course. And so I'm going to start with that, and we're going to go through all of the comments all the way up until now. Right, so somebody here is saying, Ro McFarlane, wow, this is one of the best Replet tutorials I have come across. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is like, up until now, this is my magnum opus, right? Like I've done my best work on that course. That's why it's probably performed better than every other one of my videos. That's one thing that I need to start replicating. I definitely did a really good work in that course, compared to my other videos at least. So somebody's saying creation is okay, but after creation, how do you transfer to our hosting, like WordPress or HTML site, and how to build API integration website? Right, so I'm going to answer the second part first because that's just off the top of my head. If you want to build API integration, so like if you're using a tool like Replet, like this was on my Replet video, Replet actually allows you, like prompts you to enter in your API key. So I remember I was using Replet, like I haven't used it for a couple of months now, but when you use Replet, you can say, prompt me to enter in my API key so that you can implement it into the application. So you can integrate your APIs that way, but they update very frequently. So I don't know if they have an even better way of doing that, but when I used to use it, Replet just allows you to input your API key, and then they automatically handle everything. So that's that. And how do you transfer to your hosting like WordPress or HTML site? I think you could just ask the agent. I mean, the thing about agentic engineering is these type of questions, you don't need to ask any expert or so-called agentic engineer. You can just directly ask the agents that you're working with because they're going to answer you best. They understand your code base, they understand what your objectives are, and you can give a lot more context than you can give any particular person. So that's one of the benefits of agentic engineering. Just ask them. I haven't worked with WordPress, so I'm not sure. But as far as HTML is concerned, you can just take the code, and then if you've built it in HTML, you can take the code from there and deploy it as an HTML application. All right. Great course. Thank you very much. Please do another part, for example, deployment on your own. Yeah, so I have released a video on deployment. The most common comments that I got on this course were like, can you make a video for mobile apps, for deployments, for backends, for users? So all of those videos are out on my channel. They all did pretty well. I do think that a large part of my audience is from Replet, like from my Replet video. Like a lot of you guys probably use Replet. So that's why I released a full series on Replet. There's all sorts of videos there, and I am coming out with a new course on Replet. There's a lot of cool stuff that the guys at Replet have been adding. So I'm going to release a new course on Replet very soon. They recently released a starter plan again, which is like a very, very efficient free version. Like for the past few months, the Replet starter plan, which is the free plan, it wasn't great, but now it's a lot better. So that's one thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of people here saying that would be really helpful. This is a year ago. I did release the deployment video after this. Would be awesome as I'm in the process of moving to my hosting platform, but have no SSH access, so it makes things more difficult. Excellent video so far. I appreciate it quite a bit. I am considering purchasing the Teams version to build a website and accompanying app for my kids to use in their education. but I have been looking into more about the program before committing. So videos like this are truly helping me to make my decision. Long ago, I got a degree in web development and those days are lost. And I feel too old and lazy to learn new tricks. So AI has been exciting for me. Yeah, I mean, I can relate with this a lot. I mean, first of all, to answer the first part, I mean, not a question, but to talk about the first part of your comment, that's really incredible. You know, that if people are able to use my videos to help their kids with their education, that's something that brings me contentment. And then about your degree in web development, I think that there's a lot of people that are facing this, right? The most common question among engineers today, and especially those who aren't at like the intersection of AI, ML, and all of this stuff, like people who are just traditional engineers who do web development, app development, those guys are the people who are most concerned. I wouldn't say those days are lost though, because there's a certain, in my opinion, even today, you can distinguish a vibe-coded website from a website that a web developer has actually built. I mean, if somebody knows really good CSS and like they can design it very well with Bootstrap or whatever, I don't remember, but I think that's a lot better. So yeah, AI has been exciting for a lot of us. Naman, wonderful course. You are a born storyteller. Your commentary along with the demos is just perfect. Well done. Look forward to more videos from you. Best wishes. This was a very kind comment. Thank you. How can I export it to Google Play and App Store? Right, so I did create a video separately on making iOS and Android mobile apps with Replet. That was using Expo Go. Right, so that's how you create the mobile app. How do you export it? Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. There's not much to it. I do want to release a video on this. The only problem is, one, I don't have an Android phone, so Google Play is going to be a little tough for me. And the second is Apple costs $99 a year, and it's a recurring subscription. And I don't want to spend that money right now. If I do start making that kind of money where where I can freely spend it for just a single video, then I will definitely make a video on this. I'm going to have to look into the process. I'm not 100% sure. But it's very easy to make a mobile app. Exporting it to Google Play and Apple Store is something I'm going to have to look in. Right here, I said you can't directly upload the app to the Play Store or to the App Store, but you can upload the app coded here by developing your app in Replet. Yeah. This has changed. You know, I remember watching a couple of videos on how you can export it. So I'm going to have to make a video on this. A lot of people have asked me for this, especially in the comment section of my mobile app video. We're going to see that soon. Can Replet Agent help with mobile apps, or is it only for web apps? Yeah, so you can build mobile apps with it as well. It's great for mobile apps. Like recently I was using Agent 4, where you can build a mobile app and a web app, and you can have you can build the web app first, and then you can tell the agent to convert it into a mobile app, and vice versa. That was incredible. Yeah, that's that. Thanks for the course. Please make a course on Replet Assistant. Yeah, a lot of people actually emailed me about this as well. They wanted a course on Replet Assistant. So Replet Assistant was basically a cheaper kind of number 2 right hand to the Replet. Replet Assistant was a cheaper number 2 right hand to the Replet agent. So like your big queries where you wanted to build stuff, you would give that to the agent. And then your like easier queries, which were just basic questions or small changes, you would give to the assistant. But I think Replet discontinued it, or it's not as mainstream as it was before, because nobody talks about it anymore, and it's very difficult to find in Replet. I'm not sure if they've discontinued it, but yeah, that's that. Just imagine how far AI can go in the next 5 years. Yeah, this was 1 year ago, and we've gotten pretty far ever since then. You know, like with Fable 5, Opus 5, these models are pushing the frontier. That's that. Thank you, nice illustration of Replet. How are the video freezes from 1 hour to 6? Yeah, I noticed this. But my audio is audible, right? What I'm saying is completely audible throughout. So I think that's fine. That's just a couple minutes. All right. Omar here. Hey, Naman, and thank you so much. Words aren't enough to thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to ask how to sell the app after making it on Replit, like how to make it a native app to sell for a customer with no web-looking app. If you could make a video about this process, I'd be grateful. Yes, I've done a series on freelancing, and this is exactly what I talk about. And I talk about how to sell the apps that you're making to customers, to clients, to business owners. And I've used Replit in a lot of those videos. So you can check out my freelancing videos on my channel, and I've talked about this in detail. All right, I don't know why Studio is repeating in the comments, but that's fine. Tell it what to do. It's thinking. It did it. Wow, an outstanding tutorial. I could never do this without you. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was really fascinating. You know, when I first stumbled upon the Replet agent, I was watching this video by Corbin Brown. He's a creator in the Agentic Coding space. And that was when I first stumbled upon the Replet agent. I was like, what is this? And then his videos are super funny. And he was basically saying that, you know, it is the new way of developing software. And that was the first time I ever learned about agentic engineering or vibe coding. So yeah, this is exactly what comes to mind, right? You tell it what to do, it's thinking, and it does it when you're first using it. I totally agree. When you upload these websites, how are the images and things stored on the host server? Obviously, it's just linking the images on the web, but what happens if there are broken links? Just ask it to fix them when images get moved, etc. Yeah, I wouldn't say fix, because if it's like an external image, then you don't know. Like if you're using some Unsplash image or some image from a third-party source, then it isn't up to the agent to fix that image. So I would rather just use your own images. These days you can have your models generate some great images as well. So yeah, I mean, again, like these questions are best asked just to the agent that you're working with. At this point, these agents are going to give you the best solution, because it depends on your context, right? You can only add so much context when you're writing a comment, but with the agent, you can just tell it every single thing that you're thinking, and it's going to give you a solution based on that. Again, so there's a comment here on the Apple Store and Google Play. Yeah, so this was another big deal about my video, where a lot of people were saying that, you know, the first photo is not Tower Bridge, it is the Millennium Foot Bridge, Big Ben, London Tower, some landmarks. So basically in the video, in the course, we created a Google Maps alternative, and it was basically a landmark locator. So, and the city I took as an example was London, and there were certain errors, like for example, Big Ben, I said it was Big Ben, or the application said it was Big Ben, but it was actually London Tower. So issues like that. A lot of people commented about this. How come you build so many apps? Replet starter plan has limited. Is it that you are using paid plan? No, I was using the free plan when I was, back then I think the starter plan had a lot more limits. So you could do a lot more generous limits. You could do a lot more work back then, which you can't do now. I mean, I think you can do it now since they've updated the starter plan, but in between you couldn't do much work on the Replet starter plan. Thank you, Naman. It was great and wonderful, but we didn't get the honey of the work, the important. How can we deploy in browser and create an app, make the payment things is miss what I see. I create my website in 5 minutes in Hostinger. It's not an issue. You need to find the trick that is missing in the market. Yeah, so I did release a video on deploying it directly to your browser. There's a lot of videos on this now on my channel. I've made a lot of videos on deployment. My question still remains, how do you launch it on the Play Store and start making money? Yeah, so for the making money part, I've released a freelance series, which is basically, the goal here is to replace a traditional software developer by creating a better application and then charging less to the customer. So for example, if there's a business owner, right? Let's say there's a business owner who has a restaurant, okay? They run a restaurant and they make pizza. And so what you're gonna do is, let's say that business owner is looking for somebody to build their website. So they're not privy to the entire agentic engineering space or the vibe coding movement or anything like that. So they're going to look for somebody to develop their website. And when they do, they're going to hire a traditional web developer who's going to charge them, like, let's say $500 to develop the website. Now, the traditional web developer is going to have to spend time writing that code manually and all sorts of stuff like that. They're going to have their entire outdated process. Whereas you could just step in and give prompts to tools like Replet or Lovable or whatever you're using, and you could build it in less than an hour, less than a couple of hours, and it would be very high quality. You could just iterate really fast and get a really nice application. And then you can pitch the same client for a price that's much lower because it only costed you, like, I don't know, $5, $10, $15. So that's the business approach. This is a very simplified version. Obviously, it's not that easy, right? Because those web developers are also up to date. But that's the underlying approach. You want to get into the market because you have an advantage as an agentic engineer, as a vibe coder, because you can iterate faster, you can build faster compared to people who are manually writing code. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people who are still manually writing code where they could very easily automate it. This is a very long video that I don't have time to watch right now, and I'm not a beginner with Replet, but what I really need is a tutorial on deploying with Replet and understanding their complex pricing structure for hosting. I don't understand how compute hours work, how much, yeah, so I've released a full video on this. Again, there's a tutorial on my channel about deploying with Replet, deploying applications, and I talk about the pricing and the different ways that you can deploy, right? So there's auto-scale deployments and all sorts of deployments. So auto-scale is the one that I recommend. Yeah, that's that. It's not at all explained well on Replet's website. Again, a lot of this is probably outdated. I think that Replet's team is working really hard. So like this is 1 year ago. They've probably changed this, so just check it again. I mean, if you're watching this. How can I download my apps after building? I still don't know. I mean, I think you do have access to the code files, right? You can obviously download the code, but downloading your app, I mean, I don't understand what you mean by that. You can deploy your app and then start using it. You can download the code, the source code. All right. Yes, isn't that obvious? Did you see Firebase Studio? Yeah, I saw it. I mean, I don't use it, but I saw it. It was pretty nice. Yeah, so you can see this is a really popular comment right over here. You can save money by asking the assistant some of your lower level questions instead of asking the agent. So this is exactly what I was talking about. The assistant is like a right hand to the agent. It was. I don't see the assistant anymore. I'm probably going to have to look for it or research why it's not there. But Replet Assistant used to be a really great thing. Thanks, bro, for this helpful video. All right. Hey, Naman, you did not share websites and app selling skills as you do. Again, I've released some videos on this, so you can see here that the questions that most people ask, they revolve around the same things, right? And as a creator, as a YouTuber, what I want to do is I want to create videos that provide value directly to the people who are watching me. And that's what I've done. That's the strategy that I've implemented. So all of these queries, I've released videos on all of them, right? And the reason I've done that is because when these people watch those videos and they're going to interact positively, and then, you know, those videos are going to grow and get more reach. So that's what I'm trying to do. So most of the questions that people have asked here, I've probably released videos on a lot of them. Hey bro, I just discovered your channel and I gotta say you're doing a great job. I'm really interested in connecting with like-minded creators like you. Is there any way we can connect outside of YouTube? I would love to chat. Yes, so there's an email that YouTube allows YouTubers to enter where you can just reach out for business or whatever you want. So you can use that email. Excellent video so far, thank you. Again, you can see this question right over here. I'm gonna have to make a video on this for Play Store and App Store. I tried to make an app to separate sentences. I hope this is separate. Is separate a word? I have no idea. Of an audio MP3 so that students can take notes down. It has 3 buttons: play, pause, next, back. Okay, play and pause is 1 button. Unfortunately, Replet doesn't work well. It has some errors requiring it to put in manually, and I'm totally blind in programming. Yes, you can try different tools now. I mean, if you're willing to spend maybe $20 a month extra, you can try using Cursor. The thing with Cursor is if it gets stuck, you can switch over to different models. You have a lot more flexibility when you're using a tool like Cursor. And if you're totally blind when it comes to programming, then I wouldn't recommend Claude Code yet. So try Cursor, yeah. I highly appreciate if you or anyone who could help me to complete that app as an opportunity to upgrade and improve Replet, yeah. No more talking about Replet rules. Good job. Yeah, again, so deployment, I've released a video on this. I really want to learn programming, but I have to learn from scratch. So can you please tell me the best way to learn? Nice username, by the way. So you want to learn programming. I wouldn't recommend learning programming. I mean, I still have to learn programming due to some courses that I'm taking. But I wouldn't recommend learning programming. I think like the logic, even the logic part of it is not necessary at this point. Like, because these models and these agents are just so far ahead that it is literally very easy to interact with those agents. Anybody can interact with those agents. Even people who can't speak really well or write really well can still get agents to do work really productively. I mean, like earlier, like 6 months ago or 1 year ago, they would say that, you need to have that programming logic in order to be able to instruct agents. But honestly, in today's day and age, I don't see that requirement. That's not a necessity. You can instruct these agents, you can work with these agents without any of that deep programming language, programming logic. So that's one thing. Great content. I saw the whole lecture in one go. Thank you, brother, for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the tutorial. Can you cover deploying using Replet? And also, yeah, so I have a video out on this. Again, so this is very common, right? Most of the people who are commenting for very similar things. Can you also tell the process of deployment? Yeah, so there's a video on this. I'm going to move a little faster because there's a lot of comments that I want to get through. So I'm like, if it's the same thing that we've been going through, I'm not going to cover it, all right? I realize I should use tools like Hugging Face, Docker, Versal Composer to integrate with you. Can you make fully fledged video on it? Yeah, so I have released a video on backend. Again, the thing is that Replet is actively iterating on their own Replet agent and their own software. So like they've made it very easy for you to build a backend, especially with Agent 4, which I used pretty recently. So it's very different from what it was a year ago when this person commented. That's one thing. Bro, my app is complete, but I don't know how to upload and do the stuff required. Please help. Okay, this is for Lovable, right? I'm not an expert at Lovable. I mean, this video. This is a 1-hour course that I made where I'm just showing you guys how I'm building applications. I have no idea. I mean, like what you're talking about. What do you mean upload? What is it that you want to upload, right? Like you're gonna have to be more specific. Again, when it comes to questions like these, just ask the agent. Just ask Lovable directly. It's gonna help you. All right. I ran out of credits. Yeah, I used to run out of Replet credits all the time. I need this course. I opened an account a couple months ago. I started an app, but I ran out of credits. I need to finish my app. I need to test it and deploy it. Yeah, I do have a video on reducing your vibe coding spending. So to make sure that you don't waste credits and use your credits in the most effective and efficient way possible, I do have a video on that. Yeah, all right. Sir, I am a very beginner. Last few days, I made a simple web application on Replet, but I cannot export project for my local XAMPP or hosting server and also GitHub repo manually. My project run properly on Replet. When ask it on Replet, they're giving me a suggestion. When am I going? Please, can you help me, please, sir, in a simple way? Yeah, I replied to this guy. I don't want to get into this right now because this is going to take a lot of time. But I replied to him, but my project was not PHP. Okay. Still, I cannot do it, but I am very happy that you reply. I will more discuss I have to use. Yeah, I hope this works. So great tips. Thanks for your input. Yeah. Simple web, but I cannot export. Yeah, so pushing your code to GitHub is pretty easy now, right? You can push your code to GitHub pretty easily, whether you're using any tool like Cursor. I think you can just directly connect GitHub into Cursor now anyways. I'm pretty sure Replet has that as well. I haven't used Replet for a long time now, so I'm not sure. But pushing your code to GitHub with these vibe coding tools is not difficult anymore. It's very easy. Is Naman an AI agent? That would be so cool for an AI agent to provide the tutorial on how to use Replet AI agents. I don't think we're far from that. I mean, I hope we are, but I feel like, this could be, I don't think so actually. It takes a lot of effort to build these courses, to make these courses. I don't think an agent can do that in the next couple of years. I hope I'm right. I don't want agents to be doing what I'm doing right now. Is the deployment paid? Yes. I mean, if you have a paid Replet plan, then you can deploy. Yeah, so then you're charged based on the number of people that are using your application, how much compute it uses in autoscale. With regards to the problem you have with the water intake on the fitness app, how many reiterations do you think someone should attempt before getting a bounty involved? Looks like reiterations could be costly if something like what happened to you occurs, right? So a bounty, as far as I remember on Replet, was basically like if you're facing an issue or you want something to be done, you can put out like a certain price that you're willing to pay for other people to come and do that for you. So I would never do that. I mean, personally, I would probably just keep reiterating, and I'm very good at reiterating in the sense that if the agent gets stuck on a certain problem or it hits a roadblock, I'm going to re-instruct it. I'm going to tell it to take a step back and think from first principles, orient itself in a new way to approach the problem. So, I mean, you really won't get stuck when you're reiterating. I think back then I wasn't that great at iterating with agentic engineering, but I think now these agents are better, first of all, and second of all, if you just nudge the agent in the right direction, I think it's very easy to get your code fixed. Great tutorial, thank you. Very useful as always. Thank you. Thank you for the useful course. I just want to know, how can you get the whole code and copy it? Yeah, so you can just go to the files, right? When Replet is writing your code, it gives you a series of all the files that it's generated. You can just copy that, paste it wherever you want to paste it. Wow, Naman, thank you for that beautiful presentation with amazing examples. I am a new user of AI. I am in my 60s and I simply adore technology. This is a very nice comment. Yeah, I'm turning 55. I've just started 3 months ago and completely blown away on what this can do. I could not find a more in-depth course on Replet. This course is so in-depth, and thanks so much. A new career launch for me. Absolutely incredible. I mean, agentic engineering has been a new career launch for a lot of people. A lot of people have made it big, and this market is just getting started. So this is absolutely great. Very informative video. Would you recommend Lovable or Replet for a beginner? I would definitely recommend Replet, and that's just because I've been using Replet for a long time, and I started off with Replet. And once you master Replet, learning something like Lovable is just very easy. At the end of the day, these are very simple tools, right? My objective by making courses on this is just to give you guys like a visual display of how somebody built multiple applications, to give you guys an intuitive understanding so that when you start building, you understand what inputs lead to what outputs, and I can just tell you about a lot of features that you might otherwise not know about. But other than that, if a random person starts using Lovable, they know how to use it. It's just how efficiently can they use it, right? So, I mean, a beginner can get started with Lovable or Replet, but I think Replet has a lot more scope. That said, I haven't used Lovable for a long time now either. So, you could probably do the same things in Lovable now as well. Very informative, thank you. First couple apps came out great, but now no matter what prompt I put into it, it's showing me this. What can I do? These errors, again, the thing is that these agents are so good at debugging, you just paste your issues into the agent and the agent is going to fix it for you. There's not much else to it. I mean, it is very unlikely that your agent is going to be incapable of solving your problem. Designing a UI is now easier than ever, but making that UI functional with the right logic is still a complex task. If AI can handle the logic behind the UI, it would empower everyone to build high-quality applications effortlessly. Yeah, absolutely, effortlessly. Ain't no one paying for this. Yeah, and then Zach here replied to this guy saying, good luck paying a developer X10 for an MVP. Yeah, exactly. So you're paying somebody who is a traditional developer a much larger price for the same thing, whereas an agentic engineer or a vibe coder could give you the same thing for a much cheaper price. This was a video on how to build an MVP for a client using Replet agent. Shout out to Zach, by the way. This guy teaches vibe coding, agentic engineering as well. Great channel. Hey, I've been loving these Replet tutorials from Greg Eisenberg and Nick Conley, but I'm just curious, you can sell the MVP to a client, but what happens after that? Do you then build the finished version or refer them to an app dev team? Yeah, so I've worked with a couple of clients, right? In one case, what happened was I built, let's say, like the first 70% of the application, after which, due to some of my commitments and their commitments, we weren't able to proceed. So what they did was they took what I had built, which was it was a little further than MVP. You could say that we'd gotten a lot of work done, but then that went over to an app dev team and they finished the project. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that, but there are different versions where I've just built the entire application for the client and I've sold it directly. So it depends on what the client wants, what you want, and yeah. But as far as MVPs are concerned, I would probably build the finished version yourself. It's not like going from an MVP to a finished version isn't that hard anymore. So if you're trying to make that kind of money, then obviously why wouldn't you build it yourself? Can you do one with the deployment, hooking up with payment gateway? Yeah, I've made videos on deployment. Payments are something that I'm going to include in my courses. I think I want to do that. Like Stripe integration is prevalent in a lot of these tools now, so I'm going to think about including payment into my next courses as well. Naman, I want to know what the Replet agent is unable to do. Please let me know. Can it draw a line with given parameters? Can it figure out the foundations of a simple residential building and thus estimate the acceptable engineering practice according to the soil test data, etc.? Right. So this is a very specific use case, but the Replet agent is unable to do what? I mean, I can't tell you this is a very large sample space, right? There's a lot of things here that the Replet agent is obviously going to be incapable of. But let's say knowledge work, right? Digital knowledge work, like writing files, writing documents, writing code. Replet agent is pretty good at that. Other than that, like if you're talking about research or analysis, I wouldn't trust it entirely on stuff like that. So I don't know if what your use case here requires like research or analysis or like some science behind it, but I wouldn't rely on it. Like when it comes to like writing stuff, writing code, writing text and all of that, I think Replet agent can do that. In software, I think you're good when it comes to software. But other than that, like mathematical calculations or stuff like this, estimating acceptable engineering practices, I mean, you could ask it for suggestions, but again, I wouldn't rely on it 100% for stuff that's out of the scope. Okay, man. I mean, rename it vibe coding. Yeah, Andre Karpathy named it vibe coding, okay? And to be honest, I don't like the term vibe coding as well, but I feel like a lot of people are moving on from the term vibe coding. People have started calling it agentic engineering, agentic development. These are terms that are a lot better, in my opinion. How far can you get with 600 core developer minutes on the free plan for Replet? I got shut off after about 2 hours of using the app. Yeah, I guess that depends on how much you're using it, like how intense your tasks are. For me, I can last a whole month. I mean, you're asking for the free plan, right? On the free plan, I could last like a week if I'm using it for like, this is back when I uploaded this video, but I could last like a week on the free plan. Yeah, I thought you were asking about the paid plan. On the paid plan, I can last like a month. Can this be used for building desktop apps? Yeah, you can use it to write code in any way. Great course, it was very helpful. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, and so I was actually thinking of learning web and app development. Now I'm confused, should I learn or not, as AI can already do that? Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend learning web or app development. I would rather recommend that you learn agentic engineering. in these tools. Like you start learning how to use Replet, anti-gravity, Cursor, Claude Code, and I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, Stephen Bartlett's interviews are absolutely incredible. I don't know if he did one with Amjad. Amjad Masad is the founder and CEO of Replet. All right. Yeah, so again, FYI, it's not Big Ben, it's the Tower of London. Hi, Naman, thanks for sharing a wonderful learning experience. For starters, what tier of Replet AI would you suggest apart from the free tier to do some meaningful hands-on experience? The $20 a month plan, I think that's great. You know, like a lot of these agentic coding tools, they have like similar pricing tiers now. So it's like free, which you can't really do much on it. But I think Replet now allows you to do some work with free. That distinguishes Replet, that's one thing. But other than free, which is your question, I would say the $20 a month plan is the best way to get started. You can do a lot of work on it, and you get a lot of knowledge about the tool. So if you're happy with it, then you can obviously upgrade to, you can just buy more credits directly or move on to the $100 plan. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So I would definitely recommend getting started with the $20 a month plan. Excellent tutorial, thank you. So good, thank you, Naman. Would love for you to develop a course on building AI agents with Replet, AI agents that help with sales, marketing, and customer support. Yeah, okay. So I'm releasing a course on Replet pretty soon, a new course for all of the updates. Like in the past 1 year, Replet has updated itself a lot. So a new course for that, I'm going to release that, and I'll include this in that. I'll make sure to include building agents. All right. Not one of those games existed. You can see he didn't write code for the games. It's just a retro UI to put games into. Yeah, so throughout this course, we built multiple applications. For context, for those who don't know what this is, and one of those applications was a game hub, right? And those games weren't playable within the game hub. But again, what I mentioned in the course is that you can iterate on that. You can just give more prompts to the agent and tell it to build those games out. But what we had a game hub with a variety of different games listed, and you could just start clicking on them. And all you had to do was just build that out further, right? Build it out to the next step where you would click on it and it would actually open the game. That's not really hard, right? You can just instruct the agent to further develop any specific game you want it to. Is this for a website or app? It's for both. And for the App Store, again, I'm gonna have to make a video on this. Great video, one to keep. Covered local and remote API LLMs is cool for me. Consider writing a local web UI in Replet. That's my challenge. Good luck. How do you deploy? There's a video on this. I've released one. I had an error with the first app and couldn't fix it. Again, just tell the agent whatever you're facing, whatever issues you're facing. Can you connect the database and have a login page? Yeah, you can do that. So I've released a video on this again. Backends, databases, logins, all of this. There's videos on all of this. I want to provide value. And the next course that I'm going to release on Replet, it's probably going to have all of this as well. I'm going to cover this to some extent as well. Good one. But those sites that you showed, can it be published? Yes, you can publish them. Does anyone else feel like this is great for getting the first 80% of an app done, like basically an interactive prototype, but the last 20% is where the real struggle begins? For me, it's the back and forth. Fixing one feature breaks another. API calls don't work as expected, and you spend hours trying to troubleshoot. Yeah, so I've released a video titled exactly this, which is the last 20% of vibe coding an application. There was another guy who commented who wanted me to make a video on the last 20%. I don't know if it's right here. Yeah, we're gonna find it later. But so basically, that video was a sponsored video, so I wasn't doing it with Replet. I did it with Leap.new. Leap.new sponsored that video. But again, it covers the principles for building the last 20% of an application. So authentication with Clerk, where Clerk allows you to have those users, logins, management systems, all of that. That is the real 20%. So yeah, I totally agree here. The last 20% is definitely where the real struggle begins. The first 80%, these agents are super good at. But again, this comment is a year old. Now I think these agents are very good at the 20% as well, because they've realized, these companies that are developing these agents and these agentic coding tools, they have realized that a large portion of their user base is people who are non-technical and people who struggle with that last 20%. So that's definitely something that those people are considering. Yeah, again, it's not Big Ben. A lot of people have commented this. Thanks for the video, interesting. However, FYI, that isn't Tower Bridge. It's the pedestrian bridge that links the Tate Modern Gallery with Embankment. Again, in other words, you can't trust AI. Tower Bridge is very different and in a different location. Yeah, so the agent came up with some images that were incorrect, different landmarks, inaccurate landmarks. That's okay. I've tried to test my app on Android Studio and it's not working. The AI keeps messing up and I can't get it to publish to Play Store yet. Yeah, I mean, like, I really want to release a video on Play Store and App Store. And Play Store is very cheap. It's just $25 one-time payment. I can do that. But App Store is $99 every single year, a recurring payment. So if I'm gonna make a video on this, I'm gonna need to get access to an Android phone, I think. And I'm gonna have to do some research. This is like the second video from 2 months ago, and both of them show windows that I can't find in my version, like that progress pane. Yeah, so Replet used to have this progress pane where it's like actively showing you the code that it's writing, that the agent is writing. But I don't see that anymore either. Yeah, a lot of people don't see that. So this issue is not unique to you. Hi Naman, I hope you're doing well. I tried to follow along with the tutorial and everything for the most part ends up working. The only issue is that for some reason Replet does not show me the code being written line by line as it does in your video. I'm unable to see the progress pane as you do in your video. Yeah, again, same thing, right? So they update their UI very frequently. So earlier there was a progress pane, the agent writes code, you can see exactly what it's writing. Now we don't have that, so that's okay. Great video for a newbie. Please create a video on Assistant and possibly explore other possibilities of monetization. Thanks. Yeah, so there are videos on this exploring how to make money with tools like the Replet agent. I've released 3 videos on freelancing with these tools. Awesome video. Really value what you did here. Heads up, Tower of London, not Big Ben. Who cares? Great job sharing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very informative vlog. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2 hours video of good information is absolutely 1 like on YouTube. I have a great idea that I want to build to create, deploy, and make money, but is Replet the best place to do it? I would definitely recommend it. I mean, if you're a business owner and you don't have a programming background or you're not like into knowledge work digitally, I would definitely recommend using Replet. I mean, personally, I'm a very big fan of Replet. I mean, I love using Cursor as well. These days, all I do is use Cursor and some Claude code as well. But again, if you're a business owner and you want to build an idea, I would recommend Replet. I think it's much easier for non-technical people to use Replet. I tried to make a mobile game app. It was saying I couldn't do it. Is it possible to do? Please help. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's possible now. It's much easier now as well because last time I used Replet on the main UI where you have the prompt box, there's like a variety of different app types that you can select. So you can select game, mobile app, web app, whatever you want to build. So I think you should try it out now. Amazing video, thanks a lot. Regarding the chatbot, how can you enter some input so that it gives the right output to an issue? You can integrate an API, right? So OpenAI API key or OpenRouter API keys, and then it's going to use AI to give you the right answer. The one that we built in this course was hard-coded, which means it's a fixed input-output chatbot. If you guys go back to my oldest video on this channel, which is like 5 or 6 years ago, that is a fixed input-output chatbot that we've built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in this course, this Replet course, we did the same thing. We used the agent to build it this time, but the concept is the same. It's a fixed input-output chatbot. So what that means is that there's like an array, and inside of that array, there's for a particular input, it's going to give you a particular output. So if the user inputs hi, the chatbot is always going to say hello. There's no AI here. There's no reasoning here. It's just it matches the input to an output, and if it recognizes the input, it's going to go and give that output. So if you want accurate output, you're going to have to integrate AI into that, and you can do that with your API keys. How do we take the code into our server? Again, just ask the agent, it's going to work. I'm not saying ask support, right? You don't have to contact Replet support or anything. Ask the agent that you're using, Replet agent, to fix that. You're a legend, brother. This is so valuable. I really like this comment. This guy's also a YouTuber. I checked his channel out, so great channel. And thank you for this comment. I appreciate it. Great tutorial. Thank you for making it. Thank you. Thank you so much for this video. Subscribe. Thank you. Hi, bro. Very valuable information. How can we edit the already existing code? Do we need to upload files? So you can go directly into those files and make changes, or you can tell the agent to make changes into the file. That's up to you. One of the best tutorials I've ever seen. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice comment. Amazing video. Best Replet tutorial ever. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, bro. I love how you are the one talking and not an AI. Keep up the good content. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yo, dude, love this. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great video. Love the content. Thank you. Great video. Thank you. One question. Oh, this is a comment. My bad. Now imagine how all this will evolve in 5 years. Good thing I'm retiring soon from web development business. Otherwise, I don't know, but mainstream web developers will be obsolete soon. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Mainstream web developers, people who have no idea about this entire agentic engineering wave, they still write code in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They are going to be obsolete. In fact, they are rendered obsolete already. They've been rendered obsolete by these tools. I mean, they're still making money because of like existing client relationships, networks, and inertia. There's a lot of inertia in the global market, right? So most people are still using that, but gradually, like the developers at the top, the people who are serious about their craft, they are definitely into agentic engineering. So yeah, I mean, retiring from the web development business soon, that's nice. Congratulations. Great video, thank you. One question, why do you suggest prompting to use images from Wikipedia when it generally does not have many images? Yeah, again, so I don't suggest Wikipedia particularly. The reason I mentioned it in this video is because when I was vibe coding a previous application, I found that the agent automatically used Wikipedia to fetch the images. So I was like, okay, if the agent is conveniently able to fetch images from Wikipedia, then why not? Just go ahead. But you can use stuff like Unsplash or whatever source you really like. It's garbage on real apps. I noticed no one does a full app build with database. Yeah, so I've released a video with the database, a full app build. You can check that out as well. Thank you. Thank you. Can you create a full course, beginner to advanced? There's no full course in anywhere. I'm creating a new course on Replet as well. So if you guys are interested, just let me know. But I am working on this anyway. So this is going to be a much longer and more in-depth course on Lovable. I'm learning a lot more about Lovable as well. I'm going to start using it for my real projects as well. So this is a little bit down the line, maybe a couple months later, but I'm going to release a course on Replet as well. Great job, dude. Thank you. Is there a vibe I can use like, dude, don't delete production data too soon? Yeah, so this is a joke about like, I think like the Replet agent deleted something that was super important, and there was like some news about this, and this guy's just poking the pun there. I don't know if poking the pun is an actual term though. Just curious, you mentioned you are on the free plan, which gives 5 daily credits up to a maximum of 30 per month. How are you able to do all of the iterations on your apps? Again, so this course was created like when Replet was, when you could do a lot more work on the starter plan. So I was able to do that. Thanks for this, Iman. This was extremely helpful. Plenty of examples, and you explained thoroughly how all of Replet comes together to make this work. Thank you. Not super attractive. Yeah, so this person is probably referring to the fact that in most of my prompts to the agent, I would mention like make the application super attractive and super good looking. So if you're not impressed with the UI, I mean, you can just reiterate on that, right? And they've gotten much better at design capabilities, but they're also very uniform. So today, if I'm building an application with Lovable, it's probably going to be very similar to the UI that I get when I'm building with Replet. So you want to, I'm releasing a course on this as well, UI and stuff like that as well. So building beautiful UIs when you're vibe coding. Replet definitely, absolutely, positively needs more content. This is the best app building platform anywhere and is being underserviced. Yeah, I love Replet, but I don't use it much anymore. So if I do start using it a lot more, I'm going to release a lot more content on it. I am releasing a full course on it though, because I want to cover all of the updates, the incredible updates that they've come up with. So I'm going to release a new course on Replet pretty soon. Replet is free in the same way food samples served by an elderly lady at your local grocery store are free. Thanks for the video. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice comment. I don't know how you did this. Any way to deploy without paying? I don't think you can deploy on the free plan. You're going to have to check the pricing page for that. Great video. I've already built a few apps, but this was a fun inspiration. Yeah, exactly. So these courses, the primary objective here is to just inspire you guys of what you guys can do. Right, I built multiple applications in the course so that you guys can see the scope here, that there's a lot of possibilities with these tools. Yeah, this was it was a version of blah, blah, blah. This timestamp on this course, I say something like, which is like, great video, I've already, I'm moving forward. So, I mean, it's fine. Excellent, thank you. Nice, thank you. Contact, you can reach out through my email address. Great tutorial, thank you. Cool course, thank you. Lovely course, keep the good work going. You have gained 1 subscriber and 1 like for me. Please do a video on deployment. I have, there's a video out on deployment, and thank you for your comment. Amazing. Python for non-IT people was a nightmare. This was a godsend, absolutely. New subscriber, I'm a complete beginner, love this. Please make more videos of backend and perhaps on how to send to App Store. Okay, so I made a video on the backend. App Store should come soon. On the gaming platform, you can build idea, you can play them, relax. It's an introduction to the agent. Yeah, exactly. A waste of money and time. A lot of people think that about Replet. Not most people, but there are some people, and that's okay. It's understandable, right? People have expectations when they're using these tools, and if they're not met, then it can be disappointing. Trivial satisfaction to be the first viewer of this video. Yeah, so I released this video as soon as GPT-5 came out. I tried to build apps with it and release this video. So Naman, thank you for this 2+ hours of video on how to utilize Replet to build various applications. This is awesome material to get started with for Replet. You are doing a fabulous job for noobs like us to learn things on AI agents. It's a no-brainer to jumpstart building SaaS or anything with Replet or any other agent. I am sure a couple of years down the road, we will be grateful for your posting this type of videos. Keep it coming and great job. Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hardest part, yes, this is the comment that I was talking about. Hardest part is the last 10%, so would be great if you could cover that in a video, like how to wrap up an app before deployment, how to deploy it, calculating the cost of the app so we know how to price it for profitability, and how to manage the app users when it's deployed, etc. Great content, by the way, thank you. Yeah, so I've released a video on this using leap.new and using Replet. So first it was on leap.new, then this same guy, he commented on that video saying, I don't want it with leap.new, could you make it with Replet? And so then I released a video covering all of this with Replet. How can I deploy it to a non-Replet domain if I want to deploy it and have no Replet association with it? Yeah, custom domains. You can add a custom domain. I built one for a client. So you use your domain and there's a DNS configuration. You have to do some stuff, but it's pretty easy. Custom domains, you can search for it. You'll find some answers. Very impressive presentation. I really enjoyed looking over your shoulder as you wrote and executed the code. Can you tell me what code editor were you using? Yes, I was just using the ChatGPT interface directly. I was writing prompts directly into ChatGPT. So if you go to chatgpt.com and you start interacting with ChatGPT, that's the same thing that I was doing. There's no code editor here. It's just me interacting with ChatGPT. How do I transfer the files to my IDE like VS Code for both backend and frontend? I'm not sure about the most efficient way to do this, but if I was trying this out, I would just download the code files manually and just open them up in VS Code. But I don't think that's the most efficient way to do it. Ask the agent again. How can I deploy? Well, this was building apps with GPT, right? So in GPT-5, in the GPT-5 GPT interface. So for that, I would just like download the code and save the code in like Visual Studio Code or something, and then just follow the normal traditional process for deployment. Are you using the free tier? Yeah, this was the free tier of ChatGPT. Thank you, very well explained. Amazing presentation, liked and subbed. Thank you. Can you please suggest which is better, ChatGPT 5, Replet, or Cursor for building an e-commerce website with multiple features? I would recommend, extensive features. Replet or Cursor. I wouldn't recommend ChatGPT 5, like using chat in the ChatGPT interface. If you want to use Codex, that's great. But among Replet or Cursor, I would probably, it depends. You could use both. You could use both. It depends on what your preferences are, but you can use both. Both are absolutely incredible. Why doesn't it give me the same output to the same prompt? It just gives me step-by-step guide, and I cannot preview it the same way you do. So the first part of your question, same output to the same prompt, right? So these tools, I forgot the word for this. There's deterministic and non-deterministic, right? So when you're if I give a prompt to GPT-5 today, and at the same time you're at your home and you're giving the same prompt to GPT-5, we're going to get different outputs. So you can't predict the output beforehand. So the same prompt will not lead to the same output when you're using these agents. So that's one thing. Step-by-step guide, I cannot preview it the way you do. Yeah, I can understand why that's probably happening. Like you're telling it to write code, but it's not opening it up in a separate window. I would recommend using a tool like Codex, which is by the same developers, by OpenAI, and do it that way. As far as web dev, I've had better luck if I've provided reference images like Figma and a detail about the UI. Yeah, definitely. The more context you give it, the more references, images that you add, you're going to get much better outputs. Okay, this is something that I answered. It's relevant to the video, so I'm not sure. Bro, this is not a good way to learn to code at all. Ha ha ha, how dare you say that? Yeah, so in my Agentic Coding tutorials earlier, I used to mention how Agentic Coding is a great way to learn how to code manually. And the reason I would say that is because when you're coding with agents, you see their thought process, you see the logic that they apply. And intuitively, when you do that multiple times, when you build multiple applications, it helps you understand the process of how to build it. So I'm checking the agent, I'm seeing what the agent did, so that helps me understand what I can do to build the same application if I ever want to manually code it. That's why I said so. Suppose I want to transfer my app in another Replet account without using GitHub import. No idea, man. Another new Replet account without using GitHub import. I would recommend just asking the agent. I'm not 100% sure how to do this. I've already downloaded the zip file. You've downloaded the file. for your application, you want to open another Replet account without using GitHub import, export. You could just try pasting your file into the agent directly and tell it to recreate that. That's going to waste some credits though. I mean, that's the only way that I can think of. Like you've downloaded the zip file, you paste that into the agent in your new account, in your new Replet account, and then you tell it to reconstruct that application. And it should do that using the same code. I can't tell you exactly, but you could probably, I don't know, like 5 or 6 prompts. I have no idea. You should just try it out yourself. I mean, doesn't matter. In the free version, can I export or download all the code files to tweak on my own / deploy on my server? You can download the code files and then do whatever you want with them. I'm not really great at WordPress, so I can't answer this. Like I've put some information here. Like the process for hosting on WordPress would be the same as it would be for a traditionally coded website. Okay, so this is for GPT-5, right? So for GPT-5, if you want to host like whatever you're building, you would just take the code and deploy it as you would for any other application, right? I thought this was for Replet. Thank you so much for your time and detailed explanation. It has been really helpful to me and my team. Thank you. Beautiful. I've learned a whole lot in 2 hours. Thank you, bread and butter. Great video, just what I was looking for. The Tetris game deserved to be played correctly. Video liked, really great step-by-step. Yeah, so I built Tetris in this video, but I didn't play it because I don't know how to play Tetris. All right, so I'm away from my desk and now I'm here on my sofa and I'm gonna answer the rest of the questions here. So this was the last comment, Tetris. It's AI coding, that's it, self-explanatory. Vibe coding is hands down the most phrase Gen douche has ever birthed. If you think slapping a trendy buzzword over decades of skill makes you innovative, you're not just deluded, you're another. Did I go over this comment? I think I did. Again, so I didn't name it vibe coding, right? Andrej Karpathy did. And that guy has worked at Tesla and Anthropic, and he's a very big guy in this space. And he named it vibe coding because he was talking about giving into the vibes. Right, and vibe coding is not the only term that we use to refer to this this method of building software. You should be polite to the AI. What if Skynet attacks? Right, so all of these sci-fi movies start seeming very real when you see these agents. You don't need to limit yourself to one suggestion per prompt. Again, you don't have to, but if you want the AI to really narrow down its focus and you want the agent to be able to optimize for solving one particular problem at a time, that's one approach that you can take. How to get design code from Lovable? You can download the file, particularly the design file, so you don't have to download the backend, just download the particular file. So if the website is like an HTML, CSS, JavaScript, just download the CSS file so you get the design code. Thank you for this in-depth course. I'm new to AI app development and appreciate the variety of app types that can be created with Replet. Since you made this video, there are various subscription options, and I'm sure everything you did can't be done in the current free version. Which paid version would you say is comparable to what you used? How many credits would one of these apps use? Thanks, and I look forward to seeing some of your other content. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Replet's pricing tier. Okay, so replet.com/pricing. And let's look at the pricing here, right? So if I go for monthly, there's starter, there's core, and there's pro, right? And you can change the amount of credits here. So if you want more credits, you can obviously just pay for that directly. So what I used would probably be $100 per month, given like now, because I built a lot of applications and we iterated on all of them. So today, if you want to do that, I think you would probably need to use like $100 a month, this plan. You'd probably save a lot, but even then, like you'd have a lot of credits left over, but still, I think you would need that plan. I'm not sure though, again, it depends on what you're doing, but for what I did in this course, this was a 2-hour course, I built like 7 or 8 applications. So how do you deploy these apps? Download the code and deploy it as you would deploy any other application, just like traditional software development. Absolutely useless. Cancel my subscription and now use Claude. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love Claude. This Anthropic versus OpenAI thing is pretty big nowadays, right? Codex versus Claude Code. Great tutorial, thank you. How do you tell the GPT to move into split screen so you can edit the script live? I would just tell it to move it into a preview where I can see that. That's what I've done while I was prompting GPT-5. But if it doesn't work for you, then just start using Codex. I mean, Codex is like the same thing. It's like by OpenAI. So if you're using GPT for software development purposes, just start using Codex. That would be much better. Instant sub. This is an absolute oasis of actually useful information in a sea of convoluted shortcuts and pointless tips, sponsor segments, etc. Thank you so much. Can't wait to check out your other videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to find a balance between sponsored videos and my courses and other content. Obviously, you know, I do like making videos for sponsors as well. Obviously, I get paid for it, and luckily I have a lot of companies that are willing to sponsor some of my content, and so I can really choose the ones that are pretty nice and tools that I actually would like to work with. So this is something that a lot of creators say, and it feels good to say it myself, but it's true. Once you have those options, you can really look at what the team is building, what the company is building, and if you align with that, if I feel like it's relevant to my niche and to what I'm making, then why not, right? But yes, thank you for this comment. This is very nice. It totally messed up my app. Yeah, that happens, man. It happens to me as well. I'm not reading all of that. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's going to take too much time, man. Hi, I appreciate the video, but this type of vibe coding has been used in the rabbit hole vibe hype, but does not work in reality. Try building an app that is usable in a business industry. So I disagree with you here. Okay, so this guy has commented on the GPT-5, right? So this is, I agree to some extent when it comes to GPT-5, but vibe coding as a whole, I've built applications for clients for actual business purposes that are actually currently deployed. So these are businesses across the world that are actively using applications that I've vibe coded for them. So sure, when it comes to like if you're using GPT-5 inside of like the basic ChatGPT user interface, then sure. But in general, I disagree. Take a shot at this guy every time says super. Yeah, I say super a lot in my videos. Make it super attractive. This is super, super amazing. Man, I was wondering what happened to the video that you removed that was posted after this video. Yeah, sometimes I make my videos private if I feel like they didn't perform as well as I wanted them to, or if I'm not happy with the work and I realize that later on. Vercel is not something that I'd recommend as an alternative to Replet. Like if you're using Vercel for deployment, that's great, but Replet alternatives would probably be lovable, I would say. I'm going to move a little faster because we've spent a lot of time, and I want to just go for like comments quickly. All right, so make money. I've released freelancing. Best video I was able to find on this topic. Thank you immensely. Thank you. I've talked about most of these. So the ones that I've covered, the topics that I've already covered, I am not going to cover again. All right. Okay. This is all pretty great stuff. Really nice comments. Right, so building full SaaS applications, I've made videos on this. Backends, user authentication, payments. I haven't made a video on payments yet, but I'm going to do that soon. Multiple models, right? I don't see this feature anymore. There used to be this feature where you could have multiple models build the same thing, and then you could pick whatever one you wanted in Cursor when Cursor 2.0 came out. I don't see that anymore, though. It's probably there. I'm just really bad at finding stuff like this. Dumb question, how do you get paid? Videos on this already. It's going to take a lot of time to go through the rest of these. If you guys are interested in me answering these comments manually, like providing value this way, just let me know. I'll do that. But I think this is going to take a lot of time, you know, for me to go through all of these comments. There's a lot of comments left, and this video is going to be like 2 to 3 hours long if I go through all of them. So you can see 2 hours ago was the latest comment. Video on web designing, please. I'll make that. Yeah, so these are all great comments. If you guys are really interested in this, I'm going to reply to a lot more of them, but for now I'm tired, it's late, and I'm going to go to sleep and celebrate my 10,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for 10,000. It means the world to me, and I'm going to be releasing a lot more courses, videos, providing a lot more value to you guys. If you guys are interested in this type of content where I'm providing value just by answering questions that you guys ask, it's good that we've left a lot of comments. So if I ever want to do this again, I have a lot of comments that I can make. So your English is poor, man. All right, so thank you guys, and yeah, peace. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers.